What's up, you guys? My name's Crowbar. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about uh, what you should know before going to college, right? So I'm a recent college graduate, and there were a lot of things that I learned about before college, and there were a lot of things that I knew after, and I figured I'd make this video to share what you should really know before going to college. So I'm on BuzzFeed right now looking at their 21 things people should know before going to college. And I'm going to go through it and see if they're actual and they're helpful and whatnot, and give my tips on why that is. Because sometimes you hear someone saying something and you're like, oh, college would be the best experience of your life. And then you're like, oh my God, really? And then you go to college and you're a weekend and you're like, oh, it's not the greatest experience of my life. Like, is this the greatest experience? Because it's not very good. Like, I'm going to explain some of these things and why they're true or why they're not, right? And no, college may not be the greatest experience of your life, to answer that question. Your freshman roommates probably won't be your best friends for life, and that's okay. I'm going to amend that by saying any of your roommates you have in college probably won't be your best friends for life, and that's okay. You know, I never roomed with any of my friends. I never roomed with my friend group. I never roomed with friends from high school. I went random almost the entire time. My senior year, I decided to get an apartment with some friends of mine, but they weren't my friend group. They were just some friend that I lived, one of my neighbors in my dorm. I asked her if she wanted to live together, but she wasn't my friend group. I didn't really live with my friend group, and that was a really good decision for me. So basically what tip one is it's okay if you don't have your friend group, and it's actually a really good idea if you don't live with your friend group. It's always a really good idea to not mess with the bounds of it. I know my senior year, the friend group that I didn't live with, but the ones, my friends, they lived together, and they wanted to stop being friends because they got into a huge fight our senior year. So it's a really good idea if you want to continue being friends with people is to just don't live with them, and then you won't have a problem. It might be tempting, but don't skip class. As the person who constantly skipped class and failed a few classes, I agree with this one. Definitely don't skip class. It was something I told myself to do, and the problem with don't skip class, you can tell yourself not to skip, you can tell yourself not to skip. The first time you skip, it's over. You're going to continue skipping for the rest of the semester. Right? You know, obviously, as you change classes, get new professors, you're going to adopt the habit of not skipping again. But tell yourself for as long as possible to not skip class because it really is helpful. I had an art history class that I really didn't like the professor. I didn't like the way he was teaching it. I felt he was very religious and basically wanted to teach a specific religion. And not even that, I wouldn't have minded that. It was more of he wanted to show us that art and religion were basically one and the same, which is fine. But he didn't explain the religion, and we just had to sort of guess why a painting was religious. But we had no idea who these people were, and it was very frustrating for people without that religion or with no knowledge of this religion to carry on in the class. So I skipped basically half the semester, and I did okay. This is a terrible example to give because I did okay, but I definitely regretted it because I did not do as well on the final as I did on the midterm because I started skipping after the midterm. So I did not do very well. I passed because of how well I did in the beginning, but I could have been way better. So go to class. Please go to class. Sleep, study, party, pick two. Yeah. 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 Um, that's funny. It also depends what your major is. I know a lot of majors are easier than others, and so you have the option to do all three. You can sleep, you can study, and you can party, which is awesome. We used to make fun of them because I had a science-based major, and so they did not, and they were able to forget they had homework, finish it in 10 minutes, and then go drinking. So it was very bad. But yeah, depending on your major, it might be pick two, but um, I had a hard major and it was definitely pick two. But a good way to do that, and the tip at this point should be not necessarily pick two, but manage your time really well, okay? Study in between classes, study after classes, get your work done first, and then have a good time. And then obviously, get sleep, especially before big exams or presentations or something. But definitely have time to hang out with your friends or party, as BuzzFeed is trying to say. But definitely keep studying. And you're there to get a degree. That's why you're there. So make sure you do it. Get to know your professors outside of class. Gotta be honest, I didn't do this one at all. So you can definitely get away with not doing it. However, I'm not, the world's greatest student, and I did not get the world's greatest grades. So maybe do this. Maybe go to office hours. I don't know what those look like. Let me know in the comment section below if you know what office hours look like, because I don't. Eating alone, eating alone in the dining hall is totally acceptable. You'll miss that hot, delicious food when you live on campus. All right, I'm gonna ignore the second sentence. I'm just gonna go with the first one. Eating alone in the dining hall is totally acceptable. Listen, I don't know a single person who can actually have lunch on any given day with their friends because we all have classes on different schedules. None of my friends were able to do that. Absolutely none of them were able to eat in the dining hall with their friends for lunch or breakfast, right? Dinner, we could obviously eat together because we were all done with classes and stuff. But breakfast and lunch, we were never able to eat together. Absolutely never able. So just suck it up. Wear headphones if you want or don't. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Everyone's on their phone anyway. It's really fine. And it's not a problem. You don't have to be worried about it. It's not like eating alone at a restaurant where everything is together. In the dining hall, you're not together. Like, everyone's separate. Now, for the second sentence that I really want to skip, I don't like campus food. I really don't like campus food. I don't miss it. Ever. You'll take a lot of naps. Lots of naps. Yeah. You will take a lot of naps. Try not to take naps during class. But basically what I did is I scheduled my schedule for my first class. First of all, don't schedule 8 a.m.s unless you have to. You may have to your freshman year and you may have to your other years, but try and schedule not 8 a.m.s. Try and schedule the other times. But what I did is my first class, I would get up, go to my first class, come back, take a nap. Or change, right? I would probably wear my pajamas to class. So I definitely recommend you schedule correctly, right? You want to have a sort of spread out day to give you the option to take a nap if you're tired, or to get some studying in, or to finish, assignments or whatnot in between classes. The only time I ever got my lab reports done was in between classes because I didn't want to work on them afterwards. So definitely schedule your classes with time in between. There was one semester where I did back-to-back-to-back classes, and by the end of the day, I just wanted to watch TV. I did not want to study. I did not want to work on anything. And that definitely killed my assignment game because I didn't do my assignments that much just because I was sick of going class to class to class and then afterwards going, okay, now you got to do the assignments. So give yourself time in between classes just so you can take naps or you can do assignments or you can, eat food. It's always a good idea. Or work out. I mean, that's what I did too. Don't feel bad about changing your major a million times. Yeah. There was a few people in my university that knew exactly what they wanted to do, or even a couple people who wanted to be like pre-vet. They wanted to go to vet school or pre-med or something. They knew what they wanted to do eventually, but they didn't know what they wanted to do right now. And the ones that didn't really know what to do right now, they changed their major a lot. I mean, I did. I changed it once. So I had 2 different majors and it was fine. I mean, that's not really a problem. You definitely work through it and, it's not something you need to worry about because you're not going to know when you're 18 what you want to do, or 17. You're not going to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I still don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and I've graduated. So that's fine. Change your major. Don't change your major. Figure out what you want to do. It's fine. Wait until after your first class to buy your textbooks. Yes. Yes. And the reason for this, and I'm so glad I read one of these articles before my freshman year, because it said don't buy your textbooks right away. And I was like, okay, weird, but I'll do it. And I went to class and they said, yeah, that textbook's not necessary. You could buy it, but you don't need it. And it was so nice. It saved me like $600, which is two textbooks. Textbooks are expensive. Hello? Textbooks are very expensive. Save money when you can. And really good tip is professors give you like 2 weeks after the first class has started to get your textbooks in because they know you're not going to get it right away. So you can definitely wait. And please wait. You're going to save money that way. Learn how to manage your money. Yep. Definitely learn how to manage your money. I had a friend who anytime she went out to a bar, she spent $40 on drinks. Drinks were less than $10. Like not like $9, like $5. So I have no idea how many drinks she decided to buy. I mean, obviously I can do math. I don't know how many drinks she drank herself, but she constantly was checking her bank account because she had no idea if she could afford food the next day because she was constantly like not being able to manage her money. So figure out how much money you have, figure out what you can buy, and don't go overboard, Figure out what's acceptable and not acceptable. If you have a meal plan, start with your meal plan first, buy food, and then once you figure out what you can afford, which I ended up affording 1 meal a week off my meal plan. So having like a fun dinner, like pizza night or something. That was what I could afford with, my meal plan and the money that I had. So definitely learn how to manage your money. Breaking up with your high school sweetheart isn't the end of the world. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's really not. I can't think of anyone in my college who... Actually, yeah, I can. My best friend. I can't think of anyone. Oh, yeah, my best friend. My best friend was in a relationship in high school, and he definitely broke up, became single within college, and it was fine. He was fine. Everybody was fine. Like, it wasn't a problem. I mean, they didn't go to the same college, so it was fine. But even people that do go to the same university, it's fine. Like, it's really not the end of the world. I agree. You're going to meet somebody or you're not. You don't need to meet somebody. The world does not revolve around other people. The world revolves around you. You don't need other people for that. Avoid hooking up with people who live on your floor. I'm going to amend that. Avoid hooking up with your RA. You heard that right. Don't hook up with the RA. Don't do that. It might seem like a good idea because you've seen TV shows or movies where it's like, oh my God, the hot RA. Don't do this. You might be able to get away with hooking up with people on your floor. I'm not really sure if that's a problem, but definitely your RA. Not speaking from personal experience. Don't question it. Comment down below if you think I'm speaking of personal experience. Yeah. Make sure you understand exactly what your major entails. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at right now, and it sucks. I'm a recent college graduate trying to look for a job, and that's not going well because my job does include a master's or a PhD program, and I don't want to go back to school. I'm tired of it. So I'm going to have to work on something that wasn't part of my major, which is fine. It's definitely fine. So definitely pay attention to what your major entails and what jobs you can get out of your major and if you actually like them or not. I am not someone who actually really knew what I wanted, and so it was really difficult for me to actually learn that. So definitely try and figure out if you like anything and what that looks like. You can now eat whatever the hell you want, so make sure it's tasty and healthy. Yeah, you'll gain weight. You will gain weight. And it's weird because I thought, oh, if I don't eat donuts and I don't eat like French fries every single day, then I'm fine. My freshman year, I did gain the freshman 15, which was really weird because I was having eggs and yogurt every day for breakfast. And I was very confused because I was clearly eating decent foods, but it's fine. Basically, you're just not used to the sedimentary lifestyle of everything. So, what I did to help stay active, because I didn't always have time to go work out and go to the gym, obviously, that's an option. But what you can do is you can just walk around your university. It's safe, relatively, obviously, daylight hours, but you can walk around. I mean, you have these things called phones, which has a GPS built into them. So all you have to do is walk around your university. If you get lost, type in your dorm, go back. There you go. I would constantly walk around my university multiple times a week for over an hour just to try and stay healthy and upbeat and alive and everything. And I definitely recommend doing some sort of health regimen to make yourself feel good and be healthy. Study abroad, study abroad, study abroad, then travel, travel, travel. Yeah, don't miss opportunities just because you can. Just because you're focused on your studies or you didn't think you could afford it or anything. Definitely take opportunities. You'll meet tons of people that way, and you will um, be able to network, or you'll just be able to learn how to exist without your parents. And that's always a really good tip, is how to do things without your parents. This could be in the form of, a spring break. Obviously not a really drunk one, but it could be a study abroad program. I had friends that did that. It could just be a summer holiday with some people in your university, some people on your floor, whatever, not a spring break. It could be that. It could be a university sponsored event, could be that. But either way, it's a really good idea to get out there and travel with some of your friends just to be an adult for the first time in your life. Live on your own far away from home. I know some people who commuted, which meant that they didn't live in the dorm and they lived with their parents. I don't like this idea unless you really can't afford it, which, is a luxury to be able to afford and move out. But if you can afford it, please live away from home. You're going to make way more friends that way. You're going to be able to bring people back into your room and yeah. And you're going to be able to have a really fun time. You're going to be able to live on your own schedule. You don't have to talk to anyone else. You don't have to, tell your parents, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to this event. Bye. I'll be back later. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to call your parents and tell them what you're doing. So definitely, if you can afford it, live on your own. Just live on your own. There's no shame in transferring schools. Go where you'll be happy. I had the privilege of going to the school that I always wanted to, my dream school, which I didn't want to transfer because that was my dream school. But my roommate, my junior year, transferred to my university. And that was really fun. She was definitely way happier here. She was on the same campus as her now ex-boyfriend, which is not the reason she transferred, but she definitely got way more opportunities and she really loved being at the university, right? And so definitely transferring schools. Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh my God, you weren't there since you were a freshman? What is wrong with you? No, go where you're happy. Nobody's going to judge you. This isn't high school. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health as well as your physical health. Well, I've already talked about physical health, so let's talk about mental health. Let's be serious. Let's be serious for 5 seconds. I saw some stuff at my university that's not great. There were certain areas on the university that you couldn't go on certain days because they'd be closed down because of a thing that had happened, because of their mental health. We're all on the same page? It was always around exam week or midterm week. And that was sad. You definitely want to focus on your mental health. There's a lot of different resources you can have at your university. There's places you can go. There's people you can talk to as well. Or you can just take some time for yourself and just mentally tell yourself that having a bad grade isn't going to ruin your life. Being single isn't going to ruin your life either. Your family isn't really going to ruin your life. You're going to get through this. And I'm not an expert, but there's someone out there who is an expert. And if you need to be there, go there. You know, I I'm tired of seeing people in those places where we're not allowed to go because they're cleaning up. Keep up with the reading. An all nighter isn't the time to realize you shouldn't procrastinate. Yes. Don't take all nighters. I've actually never done an all nighter. The latest I stayed up was 3 a.m., and that was because I was working on a calculus thing project. Don't do all nighters unless you have to, and it's not that hard to keep up with the reading. You just do it in between classes, or you get to it when you can get to it, but definitely keep up with what you can, or decide it's not worth it. Don't pull an all-nighter. It's not going to be worth it at that point. If you go to college, yes, with people from high school, make an effort to meet new people. Yes. I treated my college as I didn't know a soul from high school, which is such a lie because there were so many people from my high school at my university. I pretended I didn't know a single soul, and I walked around, and it took me a long time to make friends. Um, I tried. I am such an introvert that I tried, and I was so surprised. The first week of my college, first of all, you walk around. You get to college. Let me break it down for you. College. You get there, and they give you some dates, and they're like, hey, show up here, show up here. You gotta go here. You gotta go here. Well, there's a day where you get to see the activities fair, right? Where you get to see all the activities that are there, and then they'll tell you, hey, we're doing an event this week. We have a barbecue. We have free food for you. If you hear free food, go. Don't look at it. I mean, yes, look at it, okay? If it's a religious thing and you're not religious, don't go, okay? If it's, a sports thing and you're not athletic, don't go, okay? Figure out what it is, but if it's like, hey, we like plants, we're giving away free stuff, and you're like, hey, I like plants, I like free stuff, I'm gonna go, just go. I was so shocked at myself, an introvert, someone who didn't like meeting people, someone who doesn't like having that conversation of, oh, hi. I went to some of these things. I went to a couple barbecues. I went to a couple like meetings. First week, all first week. And I met people, and it was fun, and we took pictures together, and we hung out, but we didn't really talk afterwards. I mean, we sort of did. But we sort of didn't. Like, we didn't click. Like, this wasn't my group. And it sort of really sucked, and I didn't really know what to do, but I was making an effort. I was going places. I was trying really hard. And I ended up with the friend that I had met from one of the barbecues. She was saying that she was bringing one of her friends to another event that I was already going to. And I was like, oh, haha, no, I don't believe you. And this was like a month plus into college, right? People had already met each other. I'd already met my best friend, but I didn't know at the time he was going to be my best friend. But I didn't really have my friend group. I had my best friend, and that was it, right? I just had this guy. And she was like, yeah, no, I'm bringing my friend to this thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't believe you. Okay, sure. We get there, and she brought this friend, and we spent the entire rest of the day together and the next day. So, like, many hours, like over 24 total hours within 2 days together, just the two of us. And we became really good friends for a couple years. And that was my friend group, was her and her friends. So definitely it might take a minute. You might not meet the people in your hall, and you may not vibe with them, you may not click with them, but you might click with other people, and that's totally fine. Please meet other people. I have a couple friends who didn't meet other people. They just, they were in a relationship before they went to college, and they both were going to the same university, and then they ended up breaking up. And because she was reliant on her boyfriend, who they both went to the same college, she didn't have any friends when they broke up. No friends. And it was so awful for her, and I feel for her because she just did not. She was somebody I knew from high school. It wasn't like I talked to her in college. I knew of it from social media. But definitely make new friends. Don't just stick with your high school group, and definitely don't just stick with the person you're dating, right? Make friends, because you never know what could change. Learn what kind of studying habits work for you. Definitely that. I took an IB class in high school, International Baccalaureate, which basically gave me a good idea of how to study, which was insane because a lot of people say they have no idea how to study, right? And it gave me studying tips, and I knew I didn't like highlighters, I knew I liked colored pens, and I knew I really liked post it notes. So I went to college with all those things in mind, and it definitely helped. But definitely figure out your studying habits that work best for you. What time to study, where to study at. You know, my best friend likes to study in the library. I make jokes that he lives in the library, but I don't like to study in the library, and he does. So learn what sort of studying habits work for you. Learn where you like to study the best in your dorm, in a coffee shop, library, whatever, outside. Learn where you like to study, learn how you like to study. Like, you know, do you like to read chapters first? Do you like to, you know, go over your notes from class? Do you like to rewrite them? Do you like to, you know, take notes with a laptop? Like, how does studying make you remember it? And how are you going to be successful? I mean, that's the reason you're going to college, is to be successful. So definitely learn what kind of studying habits work best for you. And most importantly, it's absolutely fine to be undecided about your major. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I never knew this was a problem. I mean, are there really people out there who think that they don't know what they're going to do with their, I mean, not what they're going to do with their life, but they're undecided and they're concerned about that? No, it's fine. You can be undecided. You I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I knew what major I wanted to do. It's not it's fine. Don't be concerned about so many things, okay? What you should be concerned about in college is, how do you study? How do you sleep? How do you hang out? How do you have time to hang out with friends? Those are the three things you need to worry about. Everything else is fine. Nothing else matters. You don't need to worry about if the um, person who lives in 2A actually is interested in you. You don't need to worry about, you know, your major and everything. You don't need to worry about, what do people worry about? Please worry about setting fire from, you know, setting off the fire detectors, the smoke detectors from popcorn in the microwave. Please worry about that. Because you wouldn't believe how many times. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you a worry, okay? Here's a worry. Anytime you take a shower, that might be the moment in which the smoke detector goes off. I'm going to say that again. Because there's going to be a moment when you're going to be taking a shower and the smoke detector goes off because someone in your dorm has decided to set off the smoke detector from either a straightener or popcorn, or, you know, depending on what you have in your dorm, maybe, you know, a cafeteria. You're going to worry about that. You're going to take very quick showers because you don't want to be caught in the smoke detector. And please, if it goes off, go down in your towel. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh my God, she's in a towel, or he's in a towel. Oh my God. No, just be safe. Follow safety protocol. It's fine. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic day. And I hope you definitely learned a few things about going to college that definitely help you out and definitely make you feel a little better about your life and where you're going, and if college right for you or not. I know a few people that, you know, they dropped out of college and it was right for them. Now, I'm not saying that's what you should do, but I am saying that different paths are for different people. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And let me know in the comments down below how you're liking college.